It's really an exciting idea because I think all of us have read, kind of the quick and dirty book review blog post, and certainly it's rare that an author may be involved there. So the idea of, and I think this is one of the challenges of reading books, and it's just like, it's just like the dilemma that lots of small business owners have, where they're not able to surround themselves with like thinkers, quite as often as they'd like. So this is a unique product to introduce to this community because it's so new. A lot of people who watch the show were part of the very beginning of kitchen table companies, so they know what it's like to grow a community, and I think that's why we talked right before we came on. That's why we're here talking about it to this group, because we're not going to hide behind the fact that it's a paid membership. There's obviously having this kind of access to authors and other people in the community is going to cost a little bit of money, and we can talk about that in a minute. But I'm absolutely fascinated by the idea that finding a book that you really want to take a deeper dive into, chapter 8 of this particular book can be done with not only the author there to answer more questions, but a back and forth with lots of other people reading the book. I mean, that's the core of this idea, right? Deep dives into tangential ideas that one book might create.
Right.
That's exactly true. And specifically to the small business audience, we have 3 explorations. And one is on being a leader. That's the primary focus of it. Another is creating and innovating, which of course is a broad-based concept. And then also we have running a business. And last month we did an exploration around Eric Ries' Lean Startup. And within that exploration, we discussed the history of Lean, some of the ways that you can apply Lean Startup concepts to your business, how publishing has applied some of these concepts to what they're trying to do, and a number of other tangential but absolutely applicable wanderings away from the topic, deeper into the topic, and then bringing in authors who can speak to their specific strengths. So we might have Chris Zook, who is an amazing author of Profit by the Core, and he came and did a Q&A with us to tackle one of the subjects of that particular exploration. So not only do we have material from Eric Ries, we have a podcast from him there, but we also then have a written Q&A with Chris Zook that also applies under the topic, even if it is a different book.
And so is all of this content, I'm guessing it's archived to some degree, right? It's once you sign up, no matter where you're signing up, if you sign up a month from now, 60 days from now, or today, this archived information is always available. You can always go back and read it and take all of that in, especially if maybe you haven't read Eric Ries' book yet, Lean Startup, and then you decide to go back to that information. But here's the real question, and I'm curious how you might solve this. Do the threads and does the discussion stay live? In other words, if 60 days go by and I happen to pop into the Eric Ries thread, is there a way of notifying the people in that community about, hey, there's a comment over here that deserves your attention? Is that sort of part of the setup?
Well, there's a forum section that we want to use for the conversation between the users, between the members. That's where we want all the discussions to take place. I think all the content sections are there just for the content. So no matter when you sign up, you can go and see that content. You don't necessarily see the discussion around that. You go to the forums for that. But within each section of content, there's a link to that particular forum section. So it'll be easy to find the conversations if you're looking for that. We kind of purposely removed a lot of the, typical social media elements from the site in terms of the community within it, because we want it to be more about the content. We want the content to be very strong and have, the value there. The community certainly can exist and thrive in the forums, but we didn't want that to be kind of all over the place everywhere. We want the focus to be on a high level of content. The other thing I want to mention is what's great about the archiving idea is that you yourself within this site can create your very own archive in your exactly own personalized way. So if there's stuff within the site that you want to organize into, say, an idea. You're researching whatever topic, whatever area of interest. You can grab nuggets of information from the site, put those into what we call blocks, and then pull those blocks into what we call a stack. And so you can make a stack of information about a specific topic that you want, save it in your notebook, and it's there forever. So that when you go back to it, you can see, oh, here's this idea that I was pursuing at one time. I want to add some stuff to that. I want to write notes about the whole thing together. I want to write notes about each individual thing. You have the capability to do all of that as a member.